What's good, guys? Today we're going to be talking about freshwater versus seawater and why seawater doubles the rate of corrosion. So seawater is just water with 3.5% salt, and salt is Na plus and Cl minus, right? So it's just water. It's like salt water, I guess. So there's three main reasons why seawater is so much worse than freshwater. The first reason is salt concentration. So the chlorine atoms are really aggressive and they physically penetrate the protective passive film. So what does that look like? Chlorine atoms are really small and they'll slip into the microscopic cracks and pores of the protective layer that other molecules are too big, they can't fit in. And they're also really sticky. They have a strong negative charge that pulls them towards the metal surface because the metal surface has metal cations. And once there, they push away the oxygen that normally keep the wall there strong. So, um, so by them penetrating the passive film, like stainless steel, this causes pitting, where there are small localized holes on the metal surface, right? Pitting corrosion. I made a video about that. So a fun fact is that, interestingly enough, corrosion peaks at 3.5% salinity. So if the water gets any saltier than 3.5%, like brine, corrosion actually slows down because there's less room for dissolved oxygen, which is required for the reaction. So that's reason number one, salt concentration. Second reason is conductivity. So pure water is a really poor conductor. Conductor is like electrons or a current trying to run through circuit, right? Corrosion is really sluggish in pure water, which is a good thing, right? But we're talking about why corrosion is so bad. So corrosion is so bad because seawater has lots of ions in it. Think of water now with millions of Na plus and Cl minus ions floating around in the water, and think of an electron. Electrons can move faster because they've got positive charges in between this bridge now, right? So it'll just kind of stick to the positive charges and kind of flip like positive charge, like attract to the positive charge like that, right? Versus if there's no ions, it kind of just floats around in the water. Still acts like a bridge, like an electrolyte, but just floats around. So think of salt ions like the highway that allows electrons to zip from the metal to the metal anode to the oxygen cathode much faster, and this accelerates galvanic corrosion where two different metals touch. Okay, so galvanic corrosion is two different metals that are in electrical contact that are submerged in seawater. And because seawater is so rich in ions like Na plus Cl minus, it is like a highly conductive electrolyte. And this allows galvanic currents or flows over much longer distances than freshwater, affecting parts that aren't even directly touching. So first thing was salt concentration. That was pitting corrosion. Second thing is conductivity, which is galvanic corrosion. Third thing now is biofouling. So biofouling is accumulation of microorganisms, algae, and barnacles that are submerged under surfaces. And basically, while a layer of shells might seem like a shield, it actually creates crevices, which are narrow gaps where stagnant water can just stay still. And bacteria under these foulers produce acid and consume oxygen, leading to microbiological influence corrosion, MIC, which I made a video about that too. So fouling corrosion, there's three main ways it can attack corrosion again. First way is trapping acid. So bacteria is floating around and it sticks to the metal surface and it forms a slime over it, okay, like a biofilm that produces waste products like organic acids or sulfuric acids. So that bacteria will form an acid, right? And because the slime is so thick, the acids get trapped against the metal, having small holes on the metal, which is pitting once again. Second thing is stealing oxygen. Some bacteria need oxygen to live, so they'll use all the oxygen right up against the metal, and this creates an oxygen levels difference, right, causing a battery effect. And this forces the metals to dissolve faster. Third thing is direct electron theft. Some specialized bacteria actually can just suck the electron right out of the metal directly. And without electron and metal, the cations will dissolve into the water more easily. So those are like three main reasons why biofouling is really bad. So one last conclusion about this topic: corrosion speed in freshwater is really slow because there's less ions. Corrosion speed in seawater is really fast because of how many ions there are. The main attack for freshwater is uniform rusting. The main attack for seawater is pitting and galvanic corrosion. Conductivity for freshwater is low, not many ions. Conductivity for seawater is very high. And biofouling is really slimy and scaly for freshwater. And for seawater, it's really hard and shell-based. So thank you guys for watching my video for freshwater versus seawater. I'll see you guys in the next one.